Hello guys, welcome to Riverside Reptiles Education Center YouTube channel and welcome to my beautiful disaster. This is where our amphibians exhibit is going to be, and as you can see behind me, I have been working every day this winter so far on building these exhibits, and they do take quite some time to construct, and I do tend to leave a messy work area, unfortunately. But they're coming along, and today I'm very excited because we're going to start putting some amphibians in the exhibits. I built a beautiful exhibit for our Vietnamese Mossy frogs, and we're going to put them in there today, and we'll videotape it, and we'll see how they acclimate and see how they do. So I'm very excited. So let's go get some Mossy frogs. All right, so this is where we've been keeping our Vietnamese Mossy frogs. We've had them in here for a couple weeks now. This is actually our lead keeper, Emily's office. So they've been in quarantine. You can see we got one sitting right here. There's actually 6 of them in here. So let's get gloved up and start taking them out. We'll talk a little bit about Mossy frogs as we're doing that. All right, so we got the cage top off, and here's on the Mossy frog sitting right here. And as you can see, I'm wearing rubber gloves, simply because the oils in our skin are not good for amphibians. Amphibians have semi-permeable skin. They can absorb the oils and salts. And if you have any chemicals on your skin, they can absorb those as well. Some amphibians are more tolerant of being handled with bare hands, like larger species like African bullfrogs and horned frogs and tiger salamanders. But the smaller species, definitely I highly recommend, if you have to handle them, use a glove. So we're gonna peel this guy right off the side. These guys are so cool. Look at that frog. All right, so Mossy frogs, there's a lot of different species of Mossy frogs. They're all found in Southeast Asia. This is the Vietnamese Mossy frog, one of the larger species, if not the largest species. And they're semi-aquatic, so they spend a lot of time in the water and half the time out of the water. So that's why when you go back and look at their enclosure, you'll see there's a lot of water on the bottom for them. So we're actually going to take this guy, we're going to put him in his little carrying container, and hopefully he stays in there while I get the other ones out. Mossy frogs kind of have a habit, when you bother them during the day, they do a defensive posture. They kind of tuck their heads in. They kind of play dead. They rely heavily on their camouflage to protect them from any would-be predators. So you can see he's playing dead in there. The other one, so there's 2. There's a bunch of crickets that we do not want to release. There's one in the water. You might be saying, this water looks disgusting. In fact, these frogs actually like their water kind of gross. They do not like fresh, clean water. They like their water aged. Right. There's number 4. All right, now we have to find. Oop, I see them. They're in the water, on this other side of the water dish. Here's a nice collection of dead crickets in the water. So typically they don't like their water that gross. So it is important to clean dead crickets out when you do see them. Here's our last one. There we go. If I was just to take a picture of this and send it to you, probably would have no idea what you're looking at. It just looks like a clump of rocks or moss. but there's actually 6 mossy frogs. All right, let's put the top on the container and go put them in their new home, which I know they will absolutely love. Oh, cool. The banded rock rattlesnake shed her skin. Nice. All right. Into their beautiful brand new enclosure. So let's take another look at these really cool amphibians. So they're in the genus Theloderma, which actually means bumpy skin. As you can see, very bumpy. They're so adorable. All right, so let's get these frogs in. There we go. There's one. This guy was in the water. We got him, so we'll put him in the water. Oh, I can see why he was in the water. That's pretty cool. He's actually shedding his skin. So you can see around this frog, it's got a bunch of dead skin floating up. And being wet definitely helps the skin come off a lot easier. Pretty cool. Now these are all males. The neat thing about mossy frogs, and this probably goes for some other amphibians out there, is that their sex is temperature dependent. So when these guys they're developing, when their eggs and larvae develop in warmer water, they turn out to be boys, majority of boys. And when the eggs and the tadpoles develop in colder water, they tend to have more girls. So hopefully we can get a girl and make some more mossy frogs someday in the future. Oh, this guy's pretty active. Frogs in a log. And the last one. Let's see. Let's put this one in the back of the log here. The water's dripping down. There we go. Very excited. I'm very excited. I'd be more excited for everyone to come check out these amphibians very soon. All right, all 6 mossy frogs are in their enclosure. Some are still in kind of a defensive position. They'll probably hide in the darker areas of the terrarium once I go away and they feel safe. So let me talk a little bit about their setup here. So it's a 65-gallon tall. And what I did is I put some foam board in the back. We carved it to make it look like rock. I also have a specialized mixture of mortar and sand that I apply to the back as well to make it look more rocky. We also have some spider wood in the back that are secured to the wall so the pothos vines can grow. Some cork bark tubes right here. And then we have a piece of driftwood going down, and there's actually a pump. I'll show you. In the back here, there is a little submersible pump in a hidden little compartment all the way down there. I'll get the cover back on. And the tube actually runs through the wall all the way to this little catch basin over here. I put a leaf over it because it doesn't look so pretty up here. There's some lava rock and there's some pothos vines growing out. So the only filtration on this water is actually going to be from the plants. They'll keep the water pretty clean, but if we do need to clean the water, there is a drain under here. It's a little dark, but here's a drain, the end of the drain, so we can do partial water changes since mossy frogs prefer their water a little dirty. So we don't want to do a complete water change, but if we need to do a partial water change, because if there's dead crickets in there, it does get kind of gross. And I did introduce springtails in here. We have some tropical springtails, mostly in the soil area right now, but every now and then I see one scurry across the water. So mossy frogs, it's very important to keep them on the cooler side. High temperatures will kill them. They prefer temperatures in the 60s and 70s, pretty much a low 70s. So there's no heating in here. The only heat that is produced would be from our incandescent, our UVB bulb up here, but it doesn't pump out a lot of heat. All right, well, the mossies are starting to move around. They're starting to explore their new enclosure. We'll be keeping an eye on them throughout the day to make sure there are no issues. And hopefully they do very well in here. I think they will. And while I'm back here, I'll give you a sneak peek at what I'm working on next. We have some Phyllobates terribilis that will be coming soon into our exhibit. In fact, I'll give you a sneak peek of them back in our room, our off exhibits room, but they'll be going in this exhibit. It's the first time I ever made a fake tree, but I think it came out pretty well. It's made out of foam board and also a mortar mix that I mixed it to be a little bit more fine. Sometimes when you mix sand in there, the sand and mortar are great for making rocks, gives it a lot of great texture, but if you're making trees, you don't want too much texture because then your tree looks like a rock. So this is made out of foam board. You can see the core right here is foam board. I used some wire right here to kind of mold it a little bit so it gives it more support on the inside, more of like a skeletal frame. And then I coated it with the mortar. And then I just painted it with dry lock and a mixture of a bunch of different concrete dyes. I think it came out really well. I'm very happy with the way it came out. And I just finished painting a bunch of what looks like lichen and algae and moss growing on it. And when I put a lot of plants in here and a little bit, maybe some, we'll have a lot of cork tubes in here. It's going to look like you are looking right into the rainforest, and it's going to be really, really cool, especially when we have these Phyllobates terribilis, also known as golden dart frogs, hopping around in here. So let's go check those guys out. I'll give you a sneak peek of them. All right, so in our back room, which we don't really have a name for it yet. We just call it the back room. So here's the prep room. Here's all our alligators. Hey, Petey, how you doing today? You gonna say hello? Petey's ignoring me. And then we have our Morlitz crocodile. Oh, there he goes. And our red-footed tortoises, which hopefully will be going out soon. It's starting to get warmer. Here's our back room where we keep a lot of our educational animals and animals that will be going on to exhibit but are not on exhibits yet. So here is our young golden dart frogs, or Phyllobates terribilis. They're the most toxic, one of the most toxic species of vertebrates in the world. And they come in a couple different colors. They come in bright yellow, and we have the mint green flavor. So these are still young frogs in here. There they are. They're about halfway grown. They're probably about a little over an inch right now. They metamorphosed, I believe, during the summer. I want to say July, August. And there's 9 of them in here. So these guys will be going on exhibit very soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a lot about mossy frogs. Hopefully, fingers crossed, half of our exhibit will be open in about mid-May. So you'll be able to come here see these mossy frogs. We have some 3-toed amphiumas. What are those? Well, you'll find out. Also, Solomon Island leaf frogs will be on exhibit. We have some tiger salamanders. We have some marine toads that will be on exhibit as well. What else are we having? Oh, we have a green frog, a native species of green frog that's actually blue. So we'll have a blue-green frog. And of course, oh yeah, and the golden dart frogs will be on exhibit here, hopefully in mid-May. So please come visit us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Brian from Riverside Reptiles Education Center, and we'll see you soon.